Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm having a great day. I hope you are. I have been blessed for about, probably close to 20 years with being a guest at Thanksgiving rather than the host. And some people love to host, and that's brilliant. I mean, this is the beauty of the world. Some people want to work on cars, and some people want to paint houses, and some people want to sing or do medicine and do brain surgery and all sorts of stuff. And our world is so blessed by so many people who have truly different wants and desires. And some people want to host Thanksgiving, and they're good at it. And I'm actually good at hosting, but I don't have a strong desire to do it. So I'm just so grateful that I get to go to someone else's house and bring, a side dish or a salad or whatever it is. When we did Friendsgiving with some good friends on the island for about a solid decade, and I think I started buying the turkey. I was like, I will buy the turkey and I will bring this special dish that I make that everyone loves because you're hosting. I'm just so grateful to the people who host. One of the things about doing lots of different things in our life is that we get to stand in a lot of different shoes, and it makes us more aware of what's going on behind the scenes, and that awareness allows us to reap more benefits from everything we do in our lives because we can appreciate better what's happening in the other side of the situation. So I'm working right now at Doug's Auto here on Vashon Island. I work front of house, and I deal with all the customers and the endless phone calls and all this stuff. And what's really cool is that I now have a better appreciation of all the people out there in the world who have been on that side of the desk when I've come in and said, hi, I need my car worked on, this and that. And because I've taken care of multiple cars in my life, when someone comes in, I have total compassion for their situation as well, right? So having hosted a number of massive events in my life, to be able to go to someone else's house and just be a guest at their Thanksgiving, I'm just dripping in gratitude. It is not a joke. I have felt this way for easily the last 15 years or longer that we've been definitely going to other people's houses. So I just want to put out there for all the people, Thanksgiving, here's the cool thing. If there's 5 family units that get together in one house, 4 of those family units have the opportunity to automatically be thankful simply to be able to go to someone's beautifully cleaned up, prepared, warm home and join them for Thanksgiving. So if you have nothing else to be thankful for, you have that to be thankful for. And of course, we all have many things to be thankful of. And the question is, last point I'll make is that, and I'm going to try to do this really quick. Let's see if I can do it in like 1 minute, right? In America, we tell people, we use the should word and say that you should be more grateful. You should have more gratitude. You should be more appreciative. And as soon as we say the should word, it becomes a coercive obligation with a guilt trip attached. And so immediately it becomes hard to do that thing because as free, liberated individuals, we want to do things because we've decided it's the right thing to do. And that could be that we decide, like, let's say Asian culture. There's a lot of people who believe that respecting your parents and being obedient is what you should do, and they themselves believe it. So they value being obedient to their parent, and they're going to do things that they don't want to do, but they'll do it because their parent told them to or wants them to, and yet they'll be happy in the process because what they do want to do is be obedient to their parent. Okay, so in some cases, we have a person and we're like, please tell me what I should do, and even if I don't inherently want to do it, I'll be happy to do it because you told me to. That's fine. But in America, most of us are not like that. We want to be in agreement with the person who's telling us to do something. If our superior tells us to do something at work, we want to do it because, one, they've asked us to do it, and two, we agree it's a good idea. We agree it's a moral idea. This is where we run into the situation for people who are, in the military, the police force, so on and so forth, is that sometimes when you're working as a cohesive unit and you don't have all the information, but someone else has a lot of information you don't have, in those situations, people come to the agreement that even if I don't understand why you're telling me to do something in this moment, because I'm on the ground on the corner of this street and I don't know what's happening over there. When you tell me to do it, I will obey. I will do it. I will be in cooperation with you intentionally, because I know that you may see that there are some enemies coming my direction, or there's a person who's vulnerable and needs to be saved over here. And so it's just really awesome when you really sit down and you think about these situations. And so, right, back to the thankfulness, is that I'm not going to tell you that you should be thankful, because that's actually not what I believe. I don't believe you should be thankful at all. I believe, and I know this is pure fact, that it is a blessing if you have the opportunity to be thankful. Because if you have the opportunity to be thankful, it means there is something to be thankful for. And if you are lucky enough to be in a situation where there is something to be thankful for, then that's a happy place to be in. So the interesting thing to take away, and I'm talking about this because so many people bring angst and discomfort and rebellion to the concept of Thanksgiving. And I think they do that because so often we're told you should be grateful, right? So I have noticed a lot of people find it very, very hard, either internally, to really enjoy the opportunity to be thankful and to have gratitude and appreciation just rippling through you. But even more difficult is to be thankful in public in front of other people. And there's something weird, and I would love to see our society shift if we can do so while maintaining the benefits that come from our independence and our individuality. So I want to frame gratitude, appreciation, thankfulness as you choosing to give yourself a spa day. You choosing to give yourself a moment of joy and pleasure and great good feelings, because if there was no one around judging you and there was no one around witnessing you and time had stopped, so there's no time pressure that you have to hurry up and get to something, and you're just completely free and you get to just sit there and decide what you want to think about. Okay, are you going to want to think about all the things in your life that are not going well and feel all the feels of anxiety and worry and depression and sadness and regret? Okay, there can be some moral value to doing that if it's going to be followed by you identifying problems, coming up with plans, and making actions and changes to correct those situations. Fine. But let's say you've done that, so you have nothing weighing on you. Imagine the opportunity to just dwell in the joys of your life, the friendships, the health that you have, the beautiful sky. When we say to stop and smell the flowers, right? Or pause to look at the sunset, it's the same thing. You can look outside of yourself and you can look at a sunset and you're going to be like, oh, wow, that's so beautiful. Okay. Or you're going to look at it and be like, so beautiful. And I'm so glad that I'm alive right now, sitting here in this place, able to witness this. I'm just so, wow, I'm alive. This is so great. I'm like, wow, that right there, where you just take that moment and you just revel revel in those things, those moments, those opportunities, those aspects of your life that, I mean, you know, maybe you're in disagreement with a friend right now, but you had 10 years of really good friendship and you're like, oh man, I'm really glad I had that friend in my life. Right now we're having a rough time, but wow, those 10 years were really blessed by that friendship. I'm so grateful that I met that person. Imagine how good your life would be if every day for an hour or two in little bits and pieces throughout the day, you just sort of have these little pause moments. And that's the key, is that you have to pause. So when we think about Thanksgiving as a concept, it's like an entire day that society has set aside to be like, look, pause for an entire day. You know, yeah, you're going to be busy making food and all that, but you know what? Making food, you're blessed to have food to make. You're blessed to have a kitchen to cook in. You're blessed to have people who want to join you, or you're blessed to simply be alive, to enjoy the day on your own and to have a day of respite because no one's coming to visit and you don't, you know, I mean, no matter what, you can find things that are blessings in almost every single moment. If you are dying of cancer, in a prison because you murdered a bunch of people and you regret that you did that and you hate yourself, well, okay, maybe that it's a little hard to come up with things to feel blessed about. Fine, I can see the point. But for almost all of us, give yourself a spa of let yourself appreciate all the blessings. Don't feel guilty for your blessings. Let yourself be infused with the gratitude for all these things that, you know, that time when you're just bustling along with life and then suddenly, you know, you get injured and now you're like, for 3 months you can't walk because you have a knee injury or something. And you're like, oh, last week I could walk and I felt great. And I, oh my gosh, I wasn't appreciating it until it was lost, right? So just revel. It's okay. Appreciating something doesn't mean you have to go knock on wood, right? We have even that idea. We say something, go, oh gosh, knock on wood. That's a superstition that if we allow ourselves to appreciate something and to notice a good fortune in our life, that somehow we'll be punished for having noticed that. And I think this goes back to some of the Puritan ideology, and I'm not going to say Christian because it's not necessarily that the Puritans are emblematic of Christianity. Christianity has been taken many directions by humans, but just, you know, it's okay. It's really, really okay to acknowledge and recognize and appreciate the blessings in your life. Don't feel guilty. That's the last thing that's one of the other things about our society right now that's a problem is this concept that if you have good fortune, you should feel guilty because, well, gosh, golly, you know, you shouldn't have that good fortune when someone over there is not as fortunate as you are. And therefore, somehow, you know, either you're not doing enough to bring other people up, or you've hurt other people to get where you are, which may or may not be true at all. You know, so just, come on, people, Thanksgiving, take a deep breath and be like, I'm going to start practicing thankfulness quietly, peacefully inside of myself every day. This beautiful, I'm going to drench myself in the emotions that go along with taking the time to notice all the great things and to just be so happy that those great things are happening in your life. Boom. So let that become a practice for you. It will make a massive difference in your day-to-day existence. All right. Have a good one. Bye.